I used to sit here and think about having my own dressing room, going out every night in front of thousands and entertaining. Oh, the thought of it gave me goosebumps every time. I would never have to work again because I'd be doing something I loved. Isn't that what they say? Though people used to say to me, you can't do that, and you need to really focus on getting yourself a real job. Those people were my dad. I mean, I love the man, but he had no vision. No passion, as it turned out. He worked 24/7. Part of the reason my mum left him. And suppose she left me too. The other parts were made up of beer, whiskey, and vodka. Oh, and a girl called Gemma. Anyhow, he died at his desk. He was working late one night and he took an heart attack. Cleaners found him the next morning slumped over his desk. They thought he was sleeping. Wouldn't have been the first time they found him sleeping at his desk. Drunk, mind you, but this time, no. He was dead. Waste of a life, if you ask me. Mum, she ain't been seen since she left. Fuck her anyway. Never needed her. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss her. I did try to reach out and find her when my dad died. She might as well have been as dead as him. And I thought she might have reached out when she knew I was rich and famous. But no. That annoyed me more than if she actually had have contacted me because of the money. That was a rough year. Start my career and I had a dead dad and a non-existent mum. I was basically an orphan. And the press had a field day with that. My first love. My only love. Jessica. She stuck around when my career started to pick up pace, even though I made some questionable decisions. And when you think about it, she didn't actually question any of them, she just put up with it. But ultimately, she left me a month after my career took off. She just couldn't handle all the things that came with fame. And I was one of them things. I can't blame her. And I never did. But after, I hit the drink and drugs quite hard. Like, shit my pants every other day. Levels of fucked up. Oh, and I threw in a few suicide attempts just to spice it all up a bit. But if I'm honest with myself, it didn't have anything to do with my personal circumstances. That's not what tipped me over the edge. Because from as far as I can remember, I'd always been towing the line. It was easier back then. I was a normal guy, doing normal stuff. I mean, my days were simple. I would get up, have a cup of coffee, a smoke, watch some TV, relax, enjoy my morning. I'd meet Jess for lunch. Then I'd go home, start getting ready to go out and have a bit of dinner. And then go to the local pub and do my set. Afterwards, Jess and I would have a drink. She always came and watched the set. Always. But the drinks afterwards, they were what I really was waiting for. We'd have a laugh. She was always laughing, that one. Always kept me laughing. And after that, we'd head home and get into bed. And then get up and do it all again. Simpler times. Oh. Jess, she were amazing. She pushed me. She kept on top of me when I wanted to give up. She was my drive, my inspiration. When I sang in the pub, I used to write my own songs. Of course, I plucked some from other artists, but they were always about her. I had a simple life, you know? Steady income. But being a human being, I always wanted more. I thought that the emptiness I had inside me could be filled with more money and more attention. How wrong was I? As I've said, I lost everything I loved about my life, and it only brought more complications and more emptiness. I mean, I might have the record for the fastest downfall of any human being on the planet. 4 months into my career and I took a nosedive, straight to rock bottom. And unfortunately, I had a 5-year contract with the record label, and more tours crammed into each of those years than I ever thought possible. I mean, the one good thing was I got to go to the best rehab in the world. And let me tell you, that rehab was better than all the 5-star hotels combined. Oh. I was in rehab for 3 months. That brought me up to around the 7-month mark of my career. I came out feeling revitalized and stress-free. I was also 2 months sober. Would have been 3, but you'd be surprised how easy it is to get drugs in rehab. And the counsellors are even worse than the residents. I was a new man, ready to take on the world. Surprisingly, the downtime hadn't really affected my image. And most surprisingly, I actually had an image to begin with. I mean, in the interest of full disclosure, I'm not really the best singer. And the shite they have me singing is so auto-tuned that it barely even sounds like me. But anyhow, back to work I went, as if I had a choice. And the stress and emptiness came flooding back. So I started to act out, trying to get them to void the contract. But I found out pretty quick that if that happens because of something I've done, I would owe them compensation for all the time and money they invested in me. So I was stuck. This was my life now. So I hit the drink and drugs hard again. I was surrounded by people, but I still felt so alone. I had all the comforts from the millions that I was making, but I felt so uncomfortable within myself. I'd become an empty shell of the man I used to be. Three years after she left, Jess got in touch and we met for dinner. She told me about her life over the last 3 years and I didn't have to tell her about mine. She'd been following online. I mean, I say following, but I was a bit hard to miss. I was everywhere. Not for anything good. She told me that the only reason she was meeting with me was that she'd met someone and that they were getting married. I was already wasted on vodka, whiskey, beer, and cocaine. But I flipped out. And from what I can remember, my ramblings went a bit like this. You know what, Jess? I never loved you. You were just a placeholder until something better came along. You're a sorry excuse for a woman. And this fella is an idiot for even entertaining the idea of marrying you. Now, go on, fuck off. I remember the tears rolling down her face as she sat and stared at me. And then she spoke. Even now it stays with me. And even now, it makes me sick to my stomach. She she said, and it was simple. I'm sorry you feel that way about yourself, Jack. Do better, okay? I'll always care for you, and I'll always be here for you. Goodbye, Jack. She got up and left straight after she said that. I mean, she could have acted in any way. She could have shouted at me, hit me. Anyone would have expected her to, but she didn't. And that's what gets me. She still had the understanding and empathy for me, to understand what I was going through. I don't think she saw it, but I sobbed like a baby. And that's when I decided I had to get myself clean and get rid of this emptiness and hatred I had for myself, once and for all. But I had one thing to do first. I had a show that night. So I went. And I sang one song, and one song only. It was Creep by Radiohead. It's the first song I sung in the pub. Only I did an acoustic piano version. Just loved it. And it was for her. That night, playing that song, it felt as if I was the only person in that arena. And it felt good, you know? I mean, there was one person I was hoping would see it. Jess. I hope she saw it. After that, I left and headed home. And I took the only option I had left to get myself out of this mess. Yeah. The only option I had left. And so I thought. I took my own life. And you know what? I don't feel any different. You were here before, can look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. Float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want want you to notice when I'm not around. So fucking special. I wish I was special. I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. She is running out the door. She's running out. She's run, run, run. Makes you happy, whatever you want. You're so fucking special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here?